Offseason grab bag, lightning round style. What's your favorite Kevin Durant destination?
Depending on what they have to give up, probably San Antonio.
I like it for San Antonio. I liked it even before the trade deadline when there was little rumors there. I like the idea of just going all in and being like, yeah, Victor
Well,
Wembanyama's timetable and whatever. And I'm like, screw it all. The guy's awesome right now on a rookie scale
it's
contract. Go for it. Why not?
but it depends which. If I wouldn't give up a ton for him, I wouldn't give up the number 2 pick in this draft. I
No.
wouldn't give up, like I wouldn't be giving up a lot for him. It's a 1-year rental if you're the Spurs of like, let's see if we can make this run real quick and get us kind of a little bit jump forward.
Mm-hmm.
And then it buys time for, let's assume Harper is the number 2 pick, that, they buys him time to kind of get acclimated a little bit. Like, I think that'd be my favorite destination. I don't think that's where he's going to end up. And I don't know if I'd necessarily do it if I were the Spurs, but it would be something for the places he could end up. I think that would be my favorite.
Yeah. If it's like Keldon Johnson, Harrison Barnes, Sohan kind of combo of those guys, a distant draft pick. Yeah, here you go. Let's move it along. So there's rumors now that Giannis actually might stay in Milwaukee because we have not gotten the report that he wants out of Milwaukee, and until that happens, they're obviously not going to trade Giannis. Can you think of any reason for Giannis to stay there?
He likes cheese curds.
Have you had cheese curds in Wisconsin?
I have.
They're pretty good.
Pretty good. No, I just think like there's not much for. I think it's just him wanting to be part of the one franchise player, right? Being the guy that stayed with the same franchise all through his career or whatnot. I think, that's fine. I just don't want to hear complaints about him. I don't want him hear complaints from him
right
about it because this team has no real way to improve, right? The only thing that's going for them, it's a very weak Eastern Conference next season, the way things are setting up. I think that's a positive for him, but I don't feel like this team has a lot of moves left in them.
When Eric Neem is writing on The Athletic, the pitch for Giannis is wait a year, but bring back Gary Trent Jr. at $14 million a season. That doesn't sound to me to be awesome as a pitch. But then again, I'm not Giannis. I don't know. At the same time, where's he really going to go? Everybody's like, where's like, maybe Giannis is looking around. He's like, yeah, I don't know. Like, people are like, oh, he'd be great in Houston. Okay, yeah, I agree. Maybe. I don't think Giannis is looking at Houston saying, the thing with star players don't want to go somewhere and be the final piece. They're looking for pieces to complete them and what it is that they're doing. Is Giannis psyched to go play with Alperen Şengün? No.
It's not even about that. It's when you look at it going, okay, they're going to give up these pieces. I'm going to go there. Are we good enough to win the championship? Right. And I don't know if Houston, with the pieces they have to give up, would be that.
Right. And he's probably looking at it that way. And whether it's Houston, I don't even mean to just pick out, whatever. Just name the team. It's whatever they're going to have to give up to get me. And if I'm not also going to get that superstar player that I want to play with, why am I going to go?
I'll throw one wrinkle in, and I don't know how they do it. I don't know the machinations of it, and even if it's possible. But he'd be a lot of fun in Golden State. Him, Steph, Draymond, and Jimmy would be a lot of fun for a year or two.
They'd have to give up probably Jimmy and Draymond, wouldn't they, just to make the money?
I don't know. I'd have to look to see how it goes. But if you could do that and find a way to keep the while we're talking, I'm going to try to do that.
Well, as I both times that Giannis was up for an extension, Golden State was very interested in trading for Giannis, but so was the rest of the league.
Everybody is. That's the biggest thing. They're monitoring. Yeah, they're doing their job. That's the way it's supposed to go in these situations. But I do know Golden State would be. We've known it's more than just, hey, we're monitoring. The situation. These are the guys we want. I am trying to build a trade right now while we talk. So continue.
I'll tell you my favorite Giannis destination. Indiana. Yeah. Him with Halliburton. After everything that the two teams that hate each other, all the fights, all the you stole my basketball BS stuff, to have Giannis actually just go to the Pacers, would be really fun. I think that would be really interesting, and could be the piece that takes him over the top. What do you got?
There's no way to really do this. I mean, there's the sign and trade with Jonathan Kuminga. I don't know. Obviously, the second apron with all of those things. You know, it's something. It would have to be a massive 3 or 4 team trade to make this work or get interesting. But that would be interesting if they could find a way. But that's it.
Damon Giannis to Phoenix for Beal and Durant.
Why?
I don't know.
We're just creating the same problems and just two different. It's just it doesn't.
Jason Kidd to the Knicks, yay or nay? It's not happening, but there's a rumor out there that the Knicks are trying to get permission to interview Jason Kidd.
Are Jason Kidd's a better coach than Tibbs? I don't get it. I actually didn't like the firing of Tibbs. I understood why they did it. I understand the thinking and the logic and whatnot. And he's not a championship level coach. I just, I think what people need to understand is none of these guys are championship level coaches until they win a championship.
And so it's and sometimes even then you're Frank Vogel and you're just now you can't even get a job anymore.
So sometimes. I just and all the options that are out there, I don't feel like any of them have made me jump around and going oh, that makes sense. I mean, even, okay, we're going to Johnny Bryant is very highly regarded across the board around the league. Okay. We're going to give this to a first time head coach. So now we're going to get to find out what his actual awards are. I felt like Tibbs should have gotten another chance. I felt like it was a knee-jerk reaction to losing to a very good Pacers team that clearly this Knicks organization and their fan base did not think they thought they were better than the Pacers when it's that's not really the case.
Yeah, that was my main takeaway. This was disrespectful to the Pacers to fire Tibbs. It was that the fireable offense was losing to a good Pacers team after you beat the Celtics. I did a whole monologue on the Tibbs thing late last week, so I'm not going to explore that anymore here. But last one for you, Mo, and appreciate the time, man. But the Celtics, according to Jake Fisher, are definitely listening to trade offers for Jrue Holiday. This is not surprising because they have to trade him and probably Kristaps Porzingis, by the way. I think a Jrue Holiday trade is going to be pretty hard to pull off. He's making a lot of money, not just this next year, but over the next 3 years after this contract extension. He's still an awesome player. One of those guys that you're not allowed to say anything bad about because everybody in the league loves him. And I have nothing bad to say about him. But also, I could tell you that it's a tough contract to trade.
You do have something bad. I could see it in your eyes, Wes. You have something bad.
Other than he plays for the Boston Celtics, I've got nothing bad.
Let it out, Wes. You want to say no?
I hated. I really didn't like the contract extension when they signed him. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's such a great contract for Jrue Holiday." I'm like, "He's old. What are we doing here?" Anyway, now they're gonna have a really hard time to trade it.
Well, I think they will find a home for him. I don't know if they will get a lot back for him. Mm-hmm. I think it's really the more. I think the question is just what's the value you're getting for him is the big.
It's gonna be nothing.
They'll get a little bit of something, but it won't be an amazing thing. Again, this is salary dump time for them.
Yes,
right. And in salary dump time, you actually aren't trying to get you're not trying to get a star back because that's an expensive. The whole concept, the whole reason why there would be trading Holiday and maybe Porzingis is because they're trying to get below a certain salary number to avoid taxes. And I think that's in that sense already means we're not going to get a lot back for him. So I don't think it'll be that hard. I think there'll be a surprise from some people in terms of how much they get back for him or what they get for him, where people are going to be like, that's too low for Holiday. I might be turned around and say it, but but the idea is this is a salary dump scenario for them. And in those salary dump scenarios, you tend to not get a lot of value back.
That's what I think Celtics fans need to prepare for, because you see Celtics fans be like, oh yeah, you maybe get a 2 rotation players back, maybe a distant first round pick. And I'm like, you're not getting a first for Jrue Holiday. That's not happening. This is a salary dump. You might have to attach a first to get off of Jrue Holiday. And, the Mavericks were a team that Jake Fisher reported that could be interested in. You're not getting PJ Washington back for Jrue Holiday. That's not happening. You might get
PJ Tucker.
Right. You could get maybe Dallas is like, we're kind of done with the Klay Thompson thing. But I don't know that you're psyched about that if you're Boston. Like, here's Klay Thompson and Najee Marshall or something. I don't know.
But again, it just comes down to the salary dump scenario with all those things, and that's really what they're in their situation. Whether they won the championship or not, whether Jason Tatum didn't get hurt or remained healthy or not or whatnot, we all knew this was coming. Mm-hmm. We all knew once new ownership came in, this was going to happen, and that this team wasn't going to stay together. So my bigger question for Boston is it just going to be those two guys, or are there more moves?
Yeah, it feels like with Tatum down, if this is going to be a gap year, it feels like you got to get out of the tax altogether. Because had Tatum been healthy, you're just like, all right, let's just get out of the second apron, stay first apron. It's probably just trade one of these guys. Now, it's like, why pay the tax at all? And Porzingis is at least expiring, so you're not even planning on having him when Tatum comes back anyway, probably. Mm-hmm. So it's like, should we just get ahead of it and trade him now?
So it gets interesting.
It does. Mo Dakhil, thanks so much. Plug in the podcast.
Before I do that, one thing I'll just throw in here, because the news dropped of Darius Garland being out 4 to 5 months with toe surgery or whatnot. There had been a lot of smoke swirling around of, Cleveland might move him.
Mm-hmm.
I think this news really kills that trade value.
Yeah, nobody's
of that for that now, because now teams are going to hold off. So that'll get really interesting with that. And I am going to talk about that with Jared Dubin on the Double Dribble podcast. See, that's a great plug.
That was a plug.
New podcast with Jared and myself. We just posted up our instant reaction from game 2. We'll probably do the same for game 3, like every other podcast out there. But we are trying to build something. So please, folks, go check it out. Subscribe. Give us 5-star reviews. Write something nice about us in that little box there about reviews, and check it out.
Check it out. Mo, obviously, Jared from being on the podcast as well. So it's awesome that you guys linked up for that show. Mo, thanks, man. This is good times.
Thank you for having me.